you're in like a creative moment in your life. Like you're in a crazy pass right now. Like imagine when you're sleeping, you're still working. So 3 features in 4 years. You're a TIFF. Like it feels like a dozen times, but actually, in factuality, you own the platform section. You might as well rename the section under your name. You were in Berlin with this film. Congratulations. Now we're in Red Sea. I think it's important to date this interview because after Berlinale, somewhere in that, you're already on another period film for a series for Netflix. Yes. So I just want to get a sense of the Indonesian film industry. Is there like a new wave? Is there a gold rush right now? Or is it just happens, everything's happening around you? Like the...
Yeah, I think I have to say that we are so great. We feel grateful that this is one of the best year of Indonesian cinema as well. We are not a very long, I mean, our history of cinema is not very long.
Yeah.
We have a dead era in 1990s, and it's sort of it's only come back after the Reformation in 1998. So we are, as industry, I can say after the return, we're still quite young. It took a lot of things to come back and then fill the industry with vibes and then making Indonesian people watching Indonesian cinema again, and then like putting our stories to the world.
Yeah.
Compared to any other part of Southeast Asia, I think. But I feel great that in a way that I live amongst the filmmaker where are very brave to create differences and possibilities to their creation. For me myself, what I always trying to do is actually I want to see myself in each of my films. I always want to have a project that allows me to see more of who I am as an Indonesian, as a creator, as a female creator. I think as an Indonesian, we also people who don't know who we are yet after passing the New Order era.
Yeah.
For a long time. So everyone is sort of like searching on themselves and their own identity in a way. But it creates something out of that. I think it creates creativity as well out of that. It just amazed me to every time I put out a film, for example, with my second film, The Seen and Unseen, is very spiritual, independent film about kids and death and a lot of duality. In the same year, we have Marlina, made by Molly Surya, also traveling around the world, screened in Cannes with her, East Timor kind of Western slasher woman.
Yeah, at Sundance.
Yes, and it's amazed me that we could support each other in our own diversity. Yeah. And that I think also creates more younger generation also
to be interested in the form. There really is a community. You feel as if you're wrapped up in the community and everybody wants the best for each other. Yes. And plus you have Netflix that comes in, says, hey, we want to spend some money. Is it a big leap for you to go from one period film to another, or it just feels more, does it feel comfortable for you, like with Cigarette Girl?
It's a big challenge actually, since I just finished a period films almost in the same kind of era, and also this one I have to think creatively as well, like what I want to explore and also give to this piece. But I think it talks about something very different, but it talks about women as well. This one is more vibrant in a way, so it's challenging, but I always find the challenge in filmmaking is very, very fun.
Here, Happy exudes a sort of timelessness quality. When I was watching on screen yesterday, I had a lot of difficulty placing either her, the actress, or her, the character, in an actual age demographic. And I was thinking about how you might have utilized the source material. So I was thinking a lot about the authenticity and the emotional IQ of the character. How she carries herself is informed by survivalism, but it says something about that time and that place and that era. How did you research that specific point about how a person in that very difficult position had to carry herself in order to survive? And and to find in her own way her own happiness?
I think as a woman living in 2022 after Reformation, and also Nana in 1960s after the Revolution of Independence, we sort of, I felt we are connected in a way that there is a time where
there's a link.
Yeah, there's a link where we don't know who we are yet. We sort of like a newborn, people who's not a newborn.
Okay.
It's amazing, that link that I thought, because now living in an era where there are a lot of changes every time politically, because people, Indonesia don't know who they are as a country yet. Like, who are we? Like, don't know, after certain years of occupation. And but a lot of things changes, and that time, women always expected to accept everything and to survive the life, and we are expect to also please the society, to be able to work as the world works, and but we need more than that to be a nation as well. We need to find our own strength and our own identity to be able to.
I think
show the world.
There's a great scene where your lead character is always in the background. She's smoking a cigarette on the back balcony, and her, I don't want to say her mirrored personality pushes her in the front, and no, that's your place.
That's your place. Yeah.
And I found that dynamic so interesting. It's so rich, their relationship, and it just.
Yeah, and I think also as a woman who lives in the East area, in a society like Indonesia, we are very different than what I always see in the screen as well. Like, usually heroine in the cinema, we have to be very brave and strong, and kind of a bit of masculine in a way. Like, you have to fight in the way that the male world want us to be. But women in Indonesia is very far from that. Like, we are not very confrontative people, very shy, not confident, and I'm like that as well. It's very hard for me to change the light bulb in a second. I always need process and small steps, and I want to represent that. I want to be able to acknowledge that it's okay to take your time and to be able to find yourself a little bit by the time and create change in a very fluid way.
Kamila, just above you there's no glass, so if there was a glass ceiling, it's been gone for a long time for you. I love the idea of water. There's one, I don't want to give too much away, I want people to see this film, but there's this idea of cleansing stories or lies or secrets, and then there's this really sympathetic link between her and her, I want to call it a comfort zone, a husband that she doesn't necessarily want to be with. But again, it's an idea of an exchange, not a monetary exchange, but there's an exchange between those two characters. And I love the sequence where the black comes out into the water. It's almost as if it pollutes the water. There's a darkness there, but it's also that act, that gesture in itself. There's something about, taking out the demons or negative spirits or anything like that. Am I reading too much into the scene, or?
No, I mean, you feel free to interpret anything you want. I mean, it's amazing to actually hear that perspective. For me, myself, and you can what you do is actually adding something that I didn't realize, which is always
unconsciously,
grateful.
maybe.
Unconsciously, yeah, that's right. But for me, water is one of the metaphors that I use also in the film. As a woman who, I've said before, like trying to find herself, like floating into the waves of things, and then we wanted to find ourselves and fit and fight the system with so much tender and so much empathy as well, in a way.
As many uses, not only as a survival mechanism, we're made, 80% of our bodies is made with it. I have to wrap up. So I just wanted to thank you for your time, and I'm looking
so
forward to seeing
great.
you back at TIFF, your second home,
Yes,
at some point.
let's keep in contact.
Maybe after the Netflix thing. The Netflix thing is, I imagine we'll see it in 2023.
23, yeah,
Okay,
next year.
so it's a global release, and maybe connect it
so.
with the film festival or something.
Yeah, let's see.
I wanted to say thank you. So it's Terima
Terima kasih.
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 Thank you, Terima Kasih.
Sama-sama, thank you.
Hey, this is Eric from IONCINEMA.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.